Painting Warhammer with real gold is crazy, but there's no doubt it delivers a finish unlike anything you've ever seen before, even if it doesn't always go to plan. So our Stormcast is now clipped out and cleaned up just in time to apply the varnish which is going to stick our gold leaf to the Mini. But wait, I think I'm getting ahead of myself. First up, what's gold leaf and what do you need to do it? So a few weeks ago I came across this incredible video from Plasmo where he gold leafed a Land Raider and it looked incredible. So that sent me tumbling down a 2-hour YouTube rabbit hole all about how to gold leaf things. But what exactly is gold leaf? Well, gold leaf is actually real gold. It's just hammered into unbelievably thin sheets, which can then be applied over surfaces. Because it's so thin though, there's almost no weight to it, which makes it very, very cheap to purchase. It's applied over a layer of sticky varnish, which confusingly is called size, and because it's so thin it conforms to almost any shape to give a gold coating. In theory. There are two types of gold leaf. Gold leaf flakes, like this one, and gold leaf sheets, like this one. And of the two of them, these are a little bit harder to use, particularly if you're applying them over uneven surfaces, like a Mini for example. But don't worry, I'm going to show you how to use both in this video. That's quite enough of my face. So the first job is to apply size, or a similar product, all over the Mini, anywhere you want the gold leaf to stick. Depending on the product, it'll take between 30 minutes and several hours to dry, and you'll know it's dry because it'll go completely clear but be tacky when you touch it. Kind of like this. There's actually not much to the application of this sort of stuff. Use the plastic tweezers because it sticks to your hands if you try and use your fingers, and then just place it onto the model and press it down loosely. It's like most things, it's not that clear cut, but in my experience I found the gold flakes were easier to apply over rough, convoluted shapes like the Mini, whereas the gold leaf sheets were much easier to apply over flat surfaces. That's just my opinion though. Then it's just a case of getting more and more pieces of gold leaf and applying them where you want to. It's going to look really rough at this point, but don't panic, it'll all come good in the end. And if you miss bits, don't worry, you can go back in, reapply your size, and then put more gold leaf over the top if you get little patches. So I've got a quick favour to ask. So many people who watch my videos, like, comment, and all the rest of it, aren't subscribed to the channel. If that's you, and you like the content I do, perhaps you can do me a favour. Thanks so much. Once you've got the gold leaf applied as best you can, get yourself a dry brush and then just start very lightly stippling over the gold leaf just to try and push it into all the cracks, and you'll steadily start to see the shape of the Mini appear. I actually changed brush to a fan type brush as well, which is a bit more delicate, just to help brush off some of those rough edges. It looks pretty rough, but it's coming together. Let me show you that again. So you start with something that looks really rough, essentially the foil is just placed on top, then you gently stipple over the shape of the miniature. And you can see it start to come together, but as you're brushing, some of the gold foil is coming back off. Don't panic, just keep polishing it back in, pressing everything in, and eventually you can then patch it in with some more gold leaf and then polish the whole thing back up until you're left with a finish that looks good. Okay, so at this point, the Mini looks good, but I don't think it's got enough contrast. Time to bring out the next secret weapon, liquid watercolours. They apply like any other wash, sitting nicely into the recesses on the model. I took my time to work my way all around the model, and actually had to go back in a couple of times just to make sure I got the depth of colour. Once I was done though, the magic starts to happen. Just before we get to that though, another game-changing product. Superglue with a brush applicator. Honestly, this is so much easier, I don't know why I haven't tried it before. You're welcome. Sorry about my fingernails, I'm usually better than this, but it's been a crazy busy couple of months, so cut me some slack, eh? Now those watercolours have had a chance to dry, we just literally go back in with a damp Q-tip and wipe over the surfaces, removing all the stuff from the tops and leaving some contrast down in the recesses. It works just like an oil wash, but without all the nasty solvents. Amazing. Wow, I'm actually pretty impressed. But I've still got a tank that needs some gold too. Luckily, I've got some gold leaf. Let's give it a go. You can see from the shiny surface of the Spartan I've already applied size to it and let it cure for an hour. Now it's just a case of trying to carefully put this very, very thin, fragile gold leaf all over the top. You can see how easily it tears and breaks. Like I say, ideally you want to try and put this down in one piece, but sometimes it's just not possible. And as we proved before, you can still go back in and patch it up later, so don't panic. If you try and pull it off, all it'll do is tear worse. So you just have to sort of commit at this point, and then work, and then go back in with another sheet and apply it over the top. Once you've got the thing covered as best as you can, then it's just a case of getting I use a short head makeup brush, and then just stippling over the top, really just trying to press down that gold leaf so it makes good contact with the size. Then, using gentle brushing motions, working around removing all the rough edges. If you enjoy watching the videos, perhaps you can consider supporting the channel too. There's loads of different ways you can do it, from clicking on affiliate links, which give me a small cash kickback, all the way to supporting me on Patreon. But my favourite way people help is by joining my free Discord server and just joining in the chat. It's really great to chat with new people. So what are you waiting for? As always, a huge thank you to my patrons. You know who you are, and everybody over on the Discord. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.